This happened recently. I was impaled by an ironing board.
What?
Yeah.
We are at CMA Fest, and this is our fanfare special.
I'm a deer hunter, you know, and I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go sit in the tree where my granddaddy did, you know, and just be on the same ground as that.
And I hunt with a longbow. It's a mature buck. I managed to bend all the way over and grab my arrow and re-nock it and take him at 13 yards.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
I have a video to prove it. It was the most insane hunting story I've ever had.
And the blind goes up in
that's
flames.
scary.
Yeah, we're like grabbing our beers, like trying to like
Save the beer! G'day, mates. It's your host, Mary O'Neill Phillips, and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast. Guys, we are at CMA Fest, and this is our fanfare special, and I'm kicking it off with our old buddy, Drew Baldridge.
Hey.
It has been a while since we've been able to catch up.
It has been way too long.
Way too long.
Way
and
too long.
It's been really lovely to see all your success from the sidelines and, you know, just crushing it as an independent artist. And one thing I wanted to say to you as well is I think seeing you be very outspoken and raw about the highs and lows of your career has been really encouraging, I think, because
well, thanks for saying that. Yeah, I just try to be real, you know. It's music business is a hard business, and it's you know, I've been here for 15 years chasing this dream, and you know, even when we put out a song like She's Somebody's Daughter, and you know, you thinking that's going to be a big hit, but that took us 5 years, to pull off a hit with that. And that whole journey of just watching other artists, friends put out songs and their struggles. And, you know, a lot of times on social media, you just want to see people, everybody just wants to post the ups.
Yeah.
And like, oh my goodness, look how cool we are and look what we're doing. And that's fun and that's exciting to post those. But there's so many real moments where like, hey man, I'm struggling today. This is not easy. And I think it's good for everybody to see that artists are, you know, real people and everybody is real people. There's no way that everything can be perfect all the time. And I think it's good for people to know that.
Do you think that has been part of why you've had such a massive growing fan base as an independent artist, because you've been essentially carving your own footpath and doing what is real to you as opposed to maybe being directed by people?
Well, maybe. I think people want to be a part of a story. And, you know, I really started building this by just playing people's backyards.
Yeah.
And, you know, from 2020 and COVID, when I lost my record deal and lost everything, I just posted on social media and said, hey, I'll play in your backyard if you'll have me. And we went around and played over 400 people's backyards for 4 years. And it was the coolest tour I ever did because it made me realize why I love music. And you can move here as an artist and be like, man, I'm in the Nashville scene. And don't get me wrong, I love Nashville and I love this community, but you can get lost in the creative process. Like, I got to make this song sound like this for this record guy or whatever. And it's like, man, at the end of the day, I'm just making music for these people. I'm making music for people's hearts and people's souls and in their yards and seeing that. And so I think people just want to be a part of something that feels real to them. And I think, man, maybe when they see me, they're like, oh, he's just like us. He's just a normal dude, you know? And that's what I try to, you know, it's who I am. I don't try to be anything different than that.
Grinding away. How did the success of She's Somebody's Daughter change your expectations, I guess, as being an independent artist?
Yeah, it was mind blowing. You know, I was for years putting out music and I watched She's Somebody's Daughter take off on TikTok, and, you know, it started streaming all those things, and I thought we'd get a record deal and it never happened. So then creating my own record company and me and my wife just kind of funding it and just being like, hey, we're going to do this ourselves and we're going to send this and we're going to see what happens. And hopefully we can get people to believe in it and, you know, sending it to country radio and trying to get them to play it and them to understand the vision. And then all of a sudden they started to, and they're my friends and they were like, hey, we love this. We love you. This song's really working for us. We see people sharing it and watching that song climb up the radio chart, but also just seeing how much it meant to people and watching, you know, big dads, like cowboys come out to shows and crying to me and being like, man, that song's for my little girl. And starting to really see, for me, it wasn't so much about the chart position as it was the impact that the music was making.
Yeah.
And watching, you know, like I said, girls coming home from war and, you know, girls learning their worth and all those things because of this song that wouldn't have happened if we didn't take the chance, if we didn't try to start this record label ourselves. And, you know, the fact that it went #1 was crazy. And then I never dreamed it would have put us on tour with Cody Johnson and put us out on tour with, you know, Bailey Zimmerman and I mean, we went to with Jelly Roll over to Australia for 20 days, and now we're going out with Luke Bryan here in a couple weeks. And I would have never dreamed, like when I sent this to Country Radio, I was like, man, I pray and hope it gets top 40. Like that'd be super cool. And then it having the success it did, and now having other songs that are having success is just a little mind blowing to me, because I was a little independent artist that didn't know what they were doing except posting songs and hoping people would react to them.
Well, I love that. And I want to talk about farm, faith, and family, because that's kind of like the roots of country outdoors as well. And we have a little girl as well, and God's at the center of our business, and then obviously the outdoors. And so I want to kind of, let's first go into parenthood.
Yeah.
And how that's changed you, and then I really want to hear like how God's moved in your life as well, because really, like, it without him none of this is possible.
100%.
And we can sit here and pump our own egos up all day, but like really, yeah, he's the one who gets all the glory.
Totally. I have a 6-week-old right now,
Yeah.
which is a lot, and I have a 3-year-old, so a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, both
Yeah.
boys, are 6-week-old, and both boys, and it really changed me. Watching my wife become a mom is a special thing for a husband, and watching a wife's body, go through all that they have to go through and the sacrifice that they have to make. And, my wife loved her job, but she was in, and, her sacrificing that for me to be on the road so she can be mama to our boys. And, that makes me emotional for that, and how much she loves me and allows me to do my dream. And, really says, hey, go out and do that. I got this here while you do that. And when you're home, you're dad. And I think that gives me a whole other purpose of life, of like, hey, music business doesn't give back. It never will, other than the fans that you're playing for and the listeners that you're playing for. What gives back is family. I'm a dad. When I go home, my little boy, he don't care if I play the Grand Ole Opry tonight. He don't care if I go down on Riverfront or Nissan Stadium. He doesn't give a crap about that.
Yeah.
My little boy cares if I'm pitching to him in the backyard. My little boy cares, hey, Dad, let me squirt you with the water gun and not be mad about it, and
that you put your phone down and spent time with him.
Spend time with me. He don't care. He don't care how many followers you have, and I think that's a message for any parent out there that's trying to get higher. They really don't care how much money they have. Yeah, they might want to get some at the store, but they just want your time. And that's something I've learned a lot as a parent over the last 3 years. That comes back to, the message statement, the tour that we're on is called Farm, Faith, Family.
Yeah.
And that is, I grew up on a farm, middle of nowhere, broke, old tractors.
Yeah.
And a lot of my songs come from that moment of my life of growing up on the farm. And I first started singing in church. So faith has always been the center of my whole life and my beliefs, and family. My grandpa, we were real close. We were all farming together. So now having 2 little boys and having a whole family of my own. And so when I think of the 3 words that built the foundation of who I am, that's farm, faith, and family.
Yeah.
So, we've kind of been running by this motto for the last little bit, and it's our tour. We have, some other big announcements coming up soon that this is all going to be branched off of. Also.
Can we hear any of that yet?
Not yet, but real soon, soon. Hopefully, hopefully over the next couple of days, you'll be hearing a big announcement. And so we're very excited about that. And, I think at the end of the day, I just try to make music that will make all 3 of those things proud. And I think of my grandpa on the farm, and I think he'd be pretty proud of me. And I think, when I look up and pray to God, I want him to be proud of the light that I'm bringing, and also my family. So that's what this chapter of my life's about.
Thank you, Drew. That's actually like so lovely. And I think it's always just this world needs more men that hold their households up and stand up for faith. And I just implore you to continue to do that. It's very encouraging.
If I'm hunting with a gun, I'm running a bog death grip tripod every single time. The one that got away still haunts me. And I promised myself I'd never miss again for lack of a steady rest. So when that once in a lifetime shot shows up, there's zero reason not to get locked in, get rock solid, and send it with confidence.
The fall. Do you have any plans? Let's talk about the last spring And the last couple, we haven't seen each other in
We
ages.
haven't.
And some people know, some people don't. But you're on the Country Outdoors Turkey Tour years
Yes.
ago, and we went turkey hunting with Adam Sanders.
We got a
and
double that day.
That was
awesome.
so cool. Such a fun time. That was like still pandemic time. So it was like
It was coming
wild.
right out of it. Yeah.
Crazy. I remember I was so fat during that period because I was drinking so much beer back in a pre having a kid back in the wild days.
I love it.
But yeah, how has the last couple of years been for you with like hunting and fishing
Man.
and stuff, and then going into now?
It has been so hard to get out,
Yeah.
you know. It's something that obviously this is, if I'm not on the road or with my family, this is what clears my mind.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in a tree. I grew up in Southern Illinois,
Yeah.
so deer hunting is like in my roots. And don't get me wrong, like I love turkey hunting, but like
Yeah, you're a deer hunter.
I'm a deer hunter,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where we do big deer camps and get all the cousins together and all the family together. So when we have that, you know, everybody's like, don't you just want to hunt in Tennessee and it's close? And I'm like, nah, man,
I
like
want to go home.
I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go sit in a tree where my granddaddy did, you know, and just be on the same ground as that. And it almost makes me emotional talking about it because
Because you've got
some
two
people-
boys, and one day you might
Yeah.
be able to sit there with them.
Yeah, that's really,
You're getting me choked up.
yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
and I try to explain that to people. We put out a song called Call Me If You Get One, this hunting season. And, it's one of my favorite songs, and I know it's not mainstream. You know, it's not going to be played on the radio probably because not everybody feels about hunting and like I do and like you do. And, you know, it's more than just killing something, you know, it's the family that's around it. And this whole song is about passing that down to your boy and how my grandpa passed it down to, you know, his family. And so I would just encourage people, go check out that song. You'll know exactly how I feel with this life that we're in of being in the woods. And like I said, it's definitely a lot harder to get out right now, but it's fun seeing my little boy get older and being like, man, the way that I'm going to be able to get away and go do this, because I'll get to take him and tell him, hey, I'm good. I can take him with me and give you a break. And so that's what my next couple of years of life I'm really looking forward to.
What was your grandpa's name?
Alvin. Yeah.
Alvin.
Grandpa Alvin. Yeah.
He's passed?
He has. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Molly is about to turn 3, and we took her turkey hunting last spring for the first time.
Wow.
She completely busted the hunt, but she loved it. She was like, neither of us cared at all because
Yeah.
she was like so lit up. She was sitting with Zach hidden, and I was sitting down against a tree, and a bird like literally started coming in. It was like 80 yards out and was gobbling, and she goes, "What's that?" And it was so cute. And she was like taking Zach's call and putting it in her mouth and stuff. And I get like, that's in reference to the story, Call Me If You Get One, because it's like, I totally get like passing down the traditions.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so much more than hunting. It is about like family history and legacy and storytelling, which is at the root of music.
It is.
so-
Yeah. And I think, you know, hunting, fishing, country music, it all goes hand in hand. And I think that any, you know, country artist that's coming up through has spent time in the woods or on the water. And this is what makes country music special, is this lifestyle. And so I think, you know, my music is definitely always going to have, you know, this brand a part of it.
I love it. Thank you so much for stopping by. And
Hey,
we will
thank
be
you.
staying tuned for the announcements coming soon
get
on
ready.
new music.
It's exciting.
Amazing. Thank you, Drew Baldridge.
Thank you.
Oi! Stop. So I've actually been looking at buying land myself, and it's made me realize how important it is to have the right lender. And that's why I love what Rural First are doing. They specialize in land and rural financing, and they even invest back into rural communities, which I personally love. So if you're curious, like I am, go and check them out at ruralfirst.com.
Loans subject to credit approval and eligibility. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Farm Credit Mid-America is an equal housing lender.
Rural First is a registered trademark of Farm Credit Mid-America, NMLS 407249. Rural First products are available to consumers within the territories of participating farm credit system associations.
One time I didn't have somebody with me, and I did an entire interview with Ned Ledoux, which if you know who that is, he's a cowboy, and I had my cowboy hat on backwards. And no one told me. And I'm sure he was sitting there going, "You idiot." And I'm going, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of it, I look in the mirror and I was like,
And it was at the PBR, and I just grabbed it and thrown it on, and I was so embarrassed.
That's hilarious.
All right, everybody. This is Mary from Country Outdoors. We are doing a live podcast here with Grace Tyler. Welcome, Grace.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Good. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Did you know that Australians apparently are just British Texans?
Wait, really?
That's what I hear.
I'm obsessed with that. I love it. I knew I loved you from the moment I met you, so that makes a lot of sense.
I love Texans because they've got really good banter and like they have so much pride for where they're
They do.
from.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I'm from Frisco, Texas, which is about 30 minutes north of Dallas. My parents moved there in the 90s, and it was like everybody was like, why are you moving to Oklahoma? Because it was the middle of nowhere. And now it's crazy. Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, is just kind of took Frisco over. So we have just the Cowboys practice facility.
makes
We're now the
sense.
PGA headquarters. So it's really awesome. We were the host for the ACM Awards for a couple years there.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
yeah, I got to go home and like see everybody that I grew up with, as well as like everybody from Nashville all in one place. It was crazy.
How does being a Texan shape you, like who you are as an artist and then like musically too?
Yeah, I think growing up in Texas, there's just, like you said, there's so much pride. And we were always surrounded by live music, kind of like Nashville in a sense. But I fell in love with music by going to concerts and going to shows. And it really showed me that I wanted to do this and wanted to do live music and perform. And so it's a big part of my career and who I am now, for sure.
When did you move to Nashville?
I moved to Nashville in 2019.
Okay.
After I graduated
Right before
high school.
perfect timing.
Exactly. Yeah, I got shipped right back. I went to Belmont University for
Were
a
you
solid.
studying music?
Yes, I was a music business major at
Cool.
Belmont. Yeah, I got like 3 months in and then got shipped back to my parents in Texas. But I came back. I ended up playing on Broadway to make money to stay here, and did college online until I graduated and did cover band stuff all on Broadway.
And do you think that what you learned in your degree has helped you now as a businesswoman in the music industry?
Yeah, my parents were like, if you're gonna do music, you got to learn how to make money to do it, you know?
Smart.
Yeah. And so having that business background definitely helped a lot. And it taught me a lot before going into meetings and things like that of, oh, what does this person do? What's their job? Without looking like an idiot sometimes and being like, oh, I have no idea what anybody is doing. So it
Did
was
you,
awesome.
in that degree, learn much about social media? Because I know you had your first viral like sensation with my mistake on TikTok. And was that like, are they teaching you that in school?
The really crazy thing about being a music business major was our textbooks would go out of date. Like it would be out of date in a year,
That
right?
doesn't sound like the education system.
No, and it would just be like, I mean, from like royalties and streaming and everything, it was just all changing.
It's
at
changing.
once.
And now it's so different probably to when you graduated.
Yeah, I got to look back at my textbooks. I bet it's hilarious thinking
Yeah.
of like what we were talking about then. But I think we were just all kind of trying to figure it out together when I was in college of what is this social media thing? How are people utilizing TikTok, for example? Yeah, it was a crazy time to be learning about that for sure.
So let's talk about that viral hit that you had, and like when did it start to take off, and like how was that for you?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was just one of my favorite songs I'd written. I posted it and I woke up the next morning and it was already to 500,000 views.
That's insane.
It's crazy. It was so awesome. And just to see like the love from just strangers on the internet for the music I was creating. And it really showed me that this is what I wanted to do. I'd been touring and I'd been playing music for as long as I can remember. I was 14 when I started playing full band, cover band stuff around Texas. And it kind of made me realize I really loved the songwriting side of things and that I had something to say and people wanted to hear it.
What does it feel like for you being an artist? Is it always like a dream come true when you're here and you're like, wow, pinch myself, I'm actually here performing at CMA Fest?
Yeah, it's crazy. And this is my first year. I actually had my first song as a songwriter get played in Nissan Stadium last night, which was
Which song?
incredible. Psychological by the band Perry. So
Okay.
it's their first song back in 8 years.
Wow.
It's my first song as a writer that went to radio. And
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. So getting to hear them sing a song about some guy I had a crush on was like kind of crazy in the middle of Nissan Stadium with 50,000 people last night. So So there are a lot of pinch me moments, and it's been cool to experience it from a songwriter side, but then also as an artist side as well this year. So I'm really proud of that.
Were you last night, like, did you take a pause and kind of just soak it in a little bit?
Yeah, it was crazy. So the song, I wrote it with Clara Park and Colton Venner, and Clara was also there, and she's one of my best friends. And so we were like, we put our phones away. We had like our friends video us. We were like, we're just going to take this moment in. And it was just so special to share it with somebody I love so much and that I love creating music with. But yeah, we just stood there and watched like 50,000 people hear this song that we just wrote one day. Like it was actually insane. So
it really does show you that, like, if you like stick to it, pursue it, like honing in on the craft too, and actually caring about the craft, that like your dreams can absolutely come true. And it's just the difference between the person who gives up and the person who sticks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us about your new single that's out now, Fear of Flying.
Yes. Fear of Flying.
I actually have a fear of flying, deathly fear of flying. Really
Mine's
flying.
more about like men at the airport. Like, get me on the plane. I'm chilling. I'm chilling on that. But yeah, no, I realized the only time I probably would have like ever see my ex again was at the Dallas airport. And I ran into him. It was awful.
That's fun.
Oh, and of course it was like a no makeup day. Like I'm in like the grossest sweatpants I own. I look like trash, and then there he is. So now I'm like glammed up for the airport.
Is he looking good?
No, he looked bad too. So that at least, yeah, exactly. But no, it was and I remember just standing there being like, okay, am I the only person who's ever experienced this? And I had this just thought, and I brought it into the right. And one of my co-writers, King Henry, who ended up producing the song, he was like, this actually happened to me too. He was like, I was sat next to my ex on the plane.
Oh, that's
and
worse.
I was like, what are the odds? Like us both having these weird encounters. I was like, okay, we got to do something with this. So yeah, we love when real life inspires music.
I have to say his instance is probably even worse though, because he's just trapped on a plane next to her. Do
Yeah,
you know
no,
what
that's
I mean?
way worse. I don't think my ex saw me. Like I like darted. Like I was like a track star in the DFW airport.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
How you feeling tonight? It's CMA Fest. Performances by Lainey Wilson, Luke Bryan, Jelly Roll.
Are y'all with us tonight?
And rockin' collaborations. Russell Dickerson featuring Fetty Wap, Gretchen Wilson featuring Ella Langley, and more. Plus, the can't-miss reunion of Florida Georgia Line, the music event of summer.
Let's go, CMA Fest!
Presented by SoFi, June 25th on ABC, next day on Hulu.
Country Outdoors is proud to partner with Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America since 1829 and the official light lager of the outdoors. Well, obviously this is Country Outdoors, so we've got some questions in here that some of them are kind of outdoor related. What is your outdoor history? I had seen that you had done some stuff with Lee Bryce.
Yes. Lee's been an awesome friend to me. I grew up hunting and fishing.
Love it.
My dad actually was on a hunting show when I was a kid.
What was it called?
It was like Wilderness World of Outdoors.
Okay.
We still have like DVDs in our house of like his hunting show. His like catchphrase was, "That's a pig of a deer." He's gonna listen to this and be like, "You're
That's
spilling
a pig
all
of a
my."
deer.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? So
I love it.
yeah.
So what do you remember what your first hunt was?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was 14 and it was a whitetail hunt out in Texas. It was an 8-point buck, and
That's a pretty great first
it's
hunt.
great. Yeah. For a while it hung all my jewelry when I was in high school. Like I hung my necklaces off of its antlers. But I've got them up in my house still. It's pretty awesome.
And so when you go home, do you guys get together and go and hunt still?
Yeah, that's kind of me and my dad's thing. We every year kind of try to make a big hunt, or whenever I can come back home. Last year, my deer hunt turned into a turkey hunt because there were no deer and there was a big old turkey sitting in front of me. I was like, all right, well, this is a new type of hunting we're doing, but okay.
Thanksgiving turkey.
We did. We fried it up. We chicken fried it for Thanksgiving.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, I've got some questions here. They're a mixture of music and outdoor questions, and you can just take
Perfect.
one, read it
Okay.
out to us,
Let's see.
and then let us know your answer.
Okay. I went for one. Okay.
I might have already asked you that one, but
Oh,
you
okay.
can say anyway.
Okay, what did going viral with My Mistake teach you about the music business? I would say that it's ever changing. And to definitely have, when you have that momentum to do whatever you can while you have it.
Yeah.
Because again, everything's always changing. So
Take the opportunity while it's there, because
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do this one. Bucket list collab. Oh, this is a good one. You know, I'm a huge Cody Johnson fan. I think that would be awesome.
Makes sense.
Or like a Tucker Wetmore, you know? Just, yeah, I think that would be awesome.
I could see Cody Johnson. I'm going to put that out
I
there
know,
first.
the Texas, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, let's see. What do you want to be remembered for? Oh, that's such a good question. These are great questions. I think I want to be remembered for authentically being myself, and when you hear my music, you learn a little bit more about me with every song. I want my music to be something that can stand the test of time. Like you listen back and 10 years from now and it's like, oh, like I remember those feelings, or it still feels just as relatable as it did when the song came out. So
Great answer.
thank you.
We'll keep going till we get some hunting ones.
Okay, yeah, I know. I'm like avoiding them. That's crazy. Okay, biggest challenge you've had to overcome. This is crazy. This happened recently. I was impaled by an ironing board.
What?
Yeah. I was on the road and I had an ironing board stuck in my arm in the middle of New York City in Manhattan. So
How did it happen though?
it's a really long story.
We're
It's a
here. We want to
really
hear it,
long
don't we?
story.
She says she was on the gas.
No, I wasn't. That's the craziest part. I wasn't. I can't say much because it literally just happened, and
there's a process that we're going through.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we can't speak too much about it.
We'll
but
stay tuned.
Yeah, and then I was on the road 3 days later, and I had 150 stitches in my arm and had to go on stage every night. But you know, this is the music industry.
You're a
We make it
warrior.
work.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, let's see. The one that got away, that failed rifle hunt that haunts you. You know, this is crazy. This sounds like really like egotistical, but I've
never missed.
I've never missed when I've like made a shot. Like there's been deer, but I've never shot and missed, you know, like they've walked and they've passed and I haven't been able to get on them, but
All this is telling me is that she has really good hunting property and I need to ask for permission and ask for an invite out to her property in Texas. I've never missed. Okay, she's got really good opportunity then.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think maybe a coyote once, but like
that's not gonna haunt you.
Yeah, that didn't haunt me. That didn't haunt me.
Last one.
Okay. Favorite outdoor memory. There's so many. You know what? This one's actually really funny. It's the time my dad almost burned down the deer stand when we were in it.
Was he smoking?
No, we had a buddy heater because it was like so cold, and he accidentally like pushed it, and there was this ledge in our stand that was plastic, and plastic is very flammable. We learned really quick.
It
turns out. So all of a sudden we're sitting in the stand, and he's like, "Something smells like it's burning," and the blind goes up. Like, oh, we're up in the air too, and it's up in flames.
Scary.
We're like grabbing our beers, like trying to like
save the beer.
Well, we're trying to get the flame out, so we're sending literal smoke signals to the deer, like literally run. Like we saw nothing that day because I mean, it got to a point where we're like, do we jump? And then we got it out, but the rest of the hunt was just ruined, and we just laughed the entire time about it. But yeah, we almost had to jump for it because it was a pretty large flame. I'm not gonna lie.
So your dad learned a pretty hard lesson that day.
Yeah, and I learned not to trust my father with dangerous equipment.
He was probably freaking out though, because I have a little girl, and just like the thought of like accidentally doing something to like hurt your kid, that probably has like haunted him. Honestly.
Yeah, no, he's we love him. He's taught me everything I know about hunting, but that was a crazy time for sure.
That's awesome. So what can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of new music. I just got back from the road with Lee Bryce. We were out for a month in Canada, and then I'm on the Sunriser tour with him. So we finished up the Canada part of that. We've got a bunch more dates throughout the US this year, so that's super exciting. Lots of new music, and then some upcoming stuff next year I'm super excited about too. So lots of new music. Just songs I'm really proud of, and that we've really been focusing on, you know, trying to get these great songs. And I spent the last year really really writing and focusing on that. So I'm excited this year is a lot of sharing that music.
Perfect. And if people want to check out your music, do they go to gracetyler.com?
Yes, gracetylermusic.com.
Great.
You can Google Grace Tyler and it'll be me in a Baptist church in Tyler, Texas. So
I love it.
yeah, don't click on the church one. It's me.
Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Amazing.
To 100, I don't think I lose my enthusiasm.
The more things change, the more they stay the same around here. After 40 years of dirt, sticks, and leaves, I think it's safe to say the Mossy Oak family and brand are people that you can trust. So head to mossyoak.com and get your gear today.
All right, guys. It's Mary here from Country Outdoors. I'm sitting here with Preston Cooper. Preston Cooper's first time in Fanfare X.
Yes.
What do you reckon?
Well, I love your accent, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great. This is my first time in here actually doing this, so it's awesome.
And your second CMA Fest is what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, though?
It's busy, tiring, but
Yeah,
it's fun.
but fun.
I love it. I get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, well, you've got some people standing around here now waiting to listen. But your debut album, Toledo Talking, is out now.
Yes.
How does that feel to have your debut album? How long did it take you to work on it and like to have it out now? And
I wrote songs over about 6 months of time and 12 songs to be exact. And those were the 12 songs I cut. And I recorded
weird.
them. Well,
Like, unusual,
a little bit.
I would say.
It is unusual.
yeah.
I was actually discovered up in Ohio at a Holiday Inn in a ballroom. I was playing cover songs, and I was working at the post office at the same time, like doing the job, playing gigs, And the songwriters discovered me, the Warren brothers.
Okay.
And so they invited me to Nashville like 3 weeks later. And then I ended up moving a little later. And then we wrote together. We wrote the 12 songs. And they're like, I think we have an album here. Let's go record it. So we went and recorded it and then took it into the record label. And they're like, what is this? And they're like, we're signing you. Let's get to work.
That's insane. That feels
Yeah.
like something that you see in a movie that doesn't, happen
it's rare.
anymore.
Yeah.
And I want to because I want to touch on this. You said the mailman thing, and what I had researched was that you were called the singing mailman.
Yes.
And I wanted to dig more into that. Firstly, like kudos to you for being doing a working class job and like being around, because like we love hearing about the everyday person chasing
Yeah.
their dreams. And but I want to hear about the singing mailman. How'd you get that nickname?
Well, I love to sing,
Yeah.
and I was always practicing on my route. I had to stay fresh, for the gig and warm up, because I would walk 14 miles every day and carry the mail for my hometown actually, and I would go play 3-hour, 4-hour gigs after work, So I just became the singing mailman.
Everyone knew you in the neighborhood as like
Oh, yeah.
when you were like, oh, what were the songs that you were singing? Your ones?
Yeah, mostly, and then covers too.
Was there like people's houses that that they like this cover, and so like when you go past, you're like, yeah, all right.
They asked me if I
May J.
could. They've requested some songs, but a lot of times I didn't know them. But I met a lot of dogs too, and friends and enemies, and yeah.
Growing up in Ohio, obviously you're living in like kind of a sportsman's paradise up there. I was looking through your Instagram. I saw a photo of you and your mom that you'd posted on Mother's Day with pheasant hunting.
Yes.
So hunting has obviously been a family tradition.
Yes. Forever. Yeah.
Who took you on your first hunt?
My sister actually.
Really?
My sister's actually a bigger hunter than I am. So,
Really?
yeah. But we have a really cool relationship, and we love to hunt together. And my dad was a big hunter. He was a game warden actually for
Yeah.
his career.
Yeah.
And I just grew up in it.
Do you remember your first hunt with her?
Let me think. It was I shot a doe. It was over at my grandma's property. I think I was 12 years old, and shot her with a crossbow, and it was a cool experience. It rained that day actually,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a cool experience. It was emotional.
Yeah.
It was very emotional, and I learned that day what it is to hunt and respect animals.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a sense, that.
Yeah.
There's a sense of respect. So
What is your favorite game to go after?
turkeys.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're a turkey mecca here in Tennessee now.
Yeah, I know.
Have you got land or access to
up
land?
in Ohio, but not here. Actually, I killed my first Tennessee turkey this last season.
Congratulations.
Thank you. With a buddy of mine, a songwriter, and he's like, "Hey, man, do you want to go turkey hunting?" I was like, "I'd love to." So he took me out, and the first time I've ever been hunting here, ever, I got a tom.
You want to hold on to that property because Nashville is particularly hard to get land access to because
Yes.
all these sportsmen and women move into town
Right,
and then they're
yeah.
like in the city, and then they really need to get out there and get hunting and keep their roots strong. And so like
Yeah.
getting land access is very challenging.
It was 700 acres. So thank you, Robert.
Amazing. Tell us about CMA Fest and your plans here this year.
Yeah, so we actually played yesterday at 6th and Peabody, I think it is.
Yep.
And it was a fun show, good crowd. And today we're just doing a bunch of interviews and stuff, doing a bunch of international things. And tomorrow we're playing at the Good Molecule stage at 5 p.m.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, so be there. And I'm excited. We're closing it out. So it's going to be a fun show.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got some questions here for you. And so you're going to read them out
Okay.
and then answer them.
Oh, boy.
for
Here we
us.
go. Put me on the spot here. Favorite outdoor memory?
Yes.
This is a hunting story.
Okay.
So I was with my sister.
Yeah.
This was in 2023. This was 3 years ago, which is crazy. Wow. Time flies.
Yeah.
My first mature buck.
Yeah.
I was sitting up in the tree. My sister was kind of below me in another stand to my left. And she said, there's a buck, it's coming in. I seen him. She's just going to jump over the fence. It's going to come in. She just knew what he was going to do. She tracks deer and she learns them and she's into it. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay. And I hunt with a longbow.
Cool.
Like traditional.
I
That's
love
what my
it.
dad used. And he gave me his buffalo bow. And that's what I still hunt with. And
That's amazing.
yeah. And so he came in. And it's funny because before we left, I had one arrow with me.
Mhm.
I usually just take one arrow, wooden, handmade.
That's confidence.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little confident. No, I'm just kidding. And my sister said, you just have one arrow? I was like, well, I have another, but I don't need it. And she's like, bring another arrow. So I didn't even have a quiver. And so I brought another arrow. I had two. And I set the other one on a branch in front of me. I just leaned it up against, and it was like way down. I had to bend down and get it. And deer came in. I shot. It was 20 yards, which is pretty far for a longbow.
Yeah.
Right over his back. Because the arrows are like slugs. They take forever to get there and they're loud,
Mhm.
So he ran off and he came back.
Ooh.
She's like, oh my gosh, reload. And the deer came in 15 yards away. I managed, it's a mature buck. I managed to bend all the way over and grab my arrow and re-knock it and take him at 13 yards.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
I have a video to prove it. It was the most insane hunting story I've ever had.
It's funny, like until you start hunting, you don't realize the like stealthiness that you're capable of doing and how that you can move like a little mannequin like this,
Yes.
not blinking in like the most
Yes. That's what I did.
Get it?
Yep.
And then back and then, yeah.
And when they look up, you stop.
Yeah.
You take a breath. Yeah. Don't even move your eyes. Yeah. It's
That's
crazy.
awesome. Kudos
Super
to
fun.
you for the longbow though, because that's very challenging. My husband has been shooting with a longbow too, and
That's awesome.
all the frustration. I mean, we are archery hunters. He is way more of a hardcore archery hunter than I am because I have a little girl. So now I rifle hunt quite a bit
That's
more
awesome.
because my time in the woods is very very limited. So I want the highest success rate.
Yeah.
But it is challenging, very challenging with the longbow for sure. And there's a
No
lot
doubt,
of
no doubt.
agility and practice.
You have to practice. I start practicing, I don't shoot really all year until deer season. I practice 2 months before season comes in just to get freshed up and, get back into it. So,
I love it. Give us another one.
all right. Sounds good. That was a good one.
If you hunt, you know how easy it is to lose track of where you are, especially around property lines. That's why here at Country Outdoors, we only use onX Hunt, the #1 hunting app. It shows public and private boundary lines so you always know where you stand. We use it for scouting, marking spots, and even navigating. It just takes the guesswork out of everything. If you want to hunt smarter this season, go check out onX Hunt at onxmaps.com and know where you stand.
Bucket list hunt. Bucket list hunt. That's a really hard question. I would love to go elk hunting. I haven't been yet. Yeah.
It's getting expensive now too
I
because
know.
all the public land is like Colorado used to be where everyone would
Yeah.
go, and now
My dad used to go.
Did your
when I
dad
was
pass away?
little. No, he's still.
he's still around. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to go, but
Yeah.
it's just
Just because you said was a couple times.
Oh,
and I was
was,
like,
yeah. Well, he's a retired game warden. and yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So he's got stories.
He's got a lot of stories.
Oh,
good ones, yeah.
Can you share any?
I mean,
Or do we need to get Dad on the podcast? The Game Warden edition.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a couple, but
Does he know where I live? Does he follow me?
probably not. I doubt it. It'd be a little creepy if he did. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, next one.
He was good at his job, though. I will give him that. Bucket list collab. Bucket list
The
collab?
music.
Yeah, music. I was going to say.
Yep.
I want to collab with a gator. No, I'm just kidding. I want to wrestle a gator. That's another bucket list thing.
Yeah.
Bucket list collab. Does it have to be country?
No,
Can be anything?
absolutely not. We just
This is so hard.
Shane Prophet just said Bruno Mars.
Oh, I love. I just seen him over there somewhere, upstairs, downstairs, whatever.
So like that's pretty. And then
We're going
Gavin
coyote
DeGraw.
hunting. Yeah.
Oh, you
Gavin,
are?
Yeah, we're gonna go hunting. Too.
Nice. I love it.
Gavin DeGraw's
We
good.
need some predator control around here for sure.
Call me.
All right.
I love to
There
do
we
it.
go. Good.
Yeah, it's good. Probably the Foo Fighters.
I like that. That's
That's unique and different. But
very interesting.
yeah, they're good. They're a good band.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like the kind of thinking outside the box stuff because it's just unique and not
Yeah.
done.
Brian Adams, probably too.
That's a good one. Yeah, very good. Love it. Okay. I think that's the last one.
Yeah, last one.
Okay. This is a good one because I wrote it.
What do you want to be remembered for? Just being nice to people. Always be, willing to help people and take the time to talk to somebody, a stranger, and always be there for people. I think I want to be remembered for that, for sure.
I love that.
And music, but,
You and I were talking off camera about like church and everything like that. And I always like to kind of ask if the door's already open, but you're a believer.
yes,
So
Yes.
is that at the center of all of that?
for sure. Yeah. I just got married too, so that's also the center of that.
Yeah. So Jesus, wife, music.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. For sure.
Thank you for stopping by, guys. Preston Cooper, thank you for stopping by.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, a lot of us grew up with Field and Stream, dreaming about our next cast, our next hunt, and our next outdoor escape. So join the 1871 Club today and head to fieldandstream.com/1871club.
Right here we all thank heaven for God's grocery store.